one of the coolest dry erase markers I've ever seen. This is the Pilot V-Board dry erase marker. It's refillable. This is awesome. Check it out. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me today. My name is Ed Tchoi. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. In my channel, I talk about everything to do with the office, and today we're talking about dry erase markers. Now, I was recently at a trade show, and the kind people at Pilot gave me this neat little sample pack, and what intrigued me most out of the sample pack when I opened it was this guy over here, which is the Pilot V-Board dry erase marker. So in today's video, you'll be coming along on a journey with me to test the Pilot V-Board Master dry erase marker to see how well it performs. So before we test out the Pilot V-Board Master, I'll give you a little bit of information about what makes this unique. So of course we know that this marker is refillable, and later on in this video, I'll show you how to replace the cartridge. Not only is this refillable, but it's also made out of 91% recycled material, which makes it a lot more environmentally friendly. And not only that, but those cartridges that you can replace, you can recycle those as well. They just go in your plastic recycling bin. According to the literature and what I found on the internet when I was doing my research on this marker, you can replace the cartridge about 4 times. So really it depends not on the cartridge itself, but on how heavy of a user you are. So the tip itself, if you're really banging on the board a lot, I guess the tip wears out over time. Having said that, what's really neat about this marker tip is that it withstands about 50 pounds of pressure. So this is told to me by the Pilot representative that I was talking to. So because this withstands 50 pounds of pressure, if you're a heavy whiteboard user, or if you're using this in a classroom environment, the tip will last you a lot longer than a traditional dry erase marker. Pilot offers 2 different tips. This is the chisel tip, and also they offer the bullet tip. And in terms of colors, they come with the traditional colors, the blue, red, green, and black. And they also have orange. One last thing before I go testing this marker out is that it has a technology called a twin pipe feed system. Now, this is a really lengthy term. Essentially, there's 2 pipes here, one that delivers the ink and one that creates some sort of airflow or something to deliver constant ink release. So I guess that means that it won't blotch. It's gonna have a controlled release of ink. I'm not sure exactly how that technology worked. It just sounded really cool, and I'm sure it's gonna work out just fine. So let's give it a go. This is the black marker. As you can see, the barrel is a little bit thicker than the traditional dry erase marker, and I don't really see this being a problem at all. I'll go ahead, and this is of course, the Pilot V-Board Master. Writes pretty well. The black is very black. What I did notice about this though, the tip itself, I do find it feels a little bit more robust than the other dry erase markers that I've been using. So as I'm pressing down on it, it feels like it's a lot more firm, and it looks like it just feels a lot more durable than the other dry erase markers out on the market. The other thing I noticed is that it doesn't smell. So this is a low odor marker. It's alcohol based. Doesn't smell like any nasty chemicals. So especially if you're in a confined room in my small little office here, that's really important to me because I don't want it to stink up my office. Yeah, and this smells totally clean. It actually smells neutral, so I don't really smell anything from it. So that's a huge bonus right there. Now, this is the other test, is to see how well it comes off. So I bought a microfiber cloth. This is my preferred way, by the way, of just erasing dry erase marker off whiteboard. Let's see how well it does. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, this is pretty sweet. One more thing I want to test out to see how quickly this dries. So usually for dry erase, they say to wait. Oh man, this is amazing. So the reason why I erase that quickly is for dry erase marker, usually you want to wait a little bit for the dry erase marker to dry before wiping it, or else it'll smudge. But check this out. With this marker, I just wrote it, and look, I've actually erased it right away. You're not supposed to really do that for dry erase markers. You're supposed to wait for it to dry until it gets a little bit powdery and then you wipe it. But look how cleanly that worked. So this erases really, really nicely, and I totally appreciate that. That's awesome. So here's a little tip for you. If you have any stubborn stains on your whiteboard, try using this iCloth. Yes, I am sponsored by iCloth, so I just want to give a shout out to iCloth because they actually work quite nicely on a whiteboard as well. For the iCloth, this is the large size. Just open this up. It's 5 inches by 7 inches, so it's a really good size. So if you do have any stubborn stains, you can use the iCloth to wipe it clean. So consider using an iCloth if you do have any stubborn stains. But if you're using the Pilot VBoard Master marker, you shouldn't get any stubborn stains because it comes off super, super cleanly. Now there's a few tips you have to remember when you're replacing these cartridges. Number one, always replace an empty cartridge. For this guy, I'm going to twist off the end cap here. It's going to reveal the ink cartridge, so there's nothing in there. And the other thing too is be very, very careful. You're dealing with liquid and you don't want dry erase liquid to get over your shirt, over your desk. So just be very cautious when you're replacing the cartridge. Second tip is make sure that the marker tip is pointing upwards. And now once I've done that, I'm going to get my ink cartridge. So they come in little bags like this. I only have one. I haven't replaced this before. So I'm kind of going out on a limb, hoping that everything's going to work fine. But I do trust the people at Pilot because they've been doing this for such a long time, since actually I think 1917, making writing instruments. I'm pretty sure they have made this foolproof, hopefully. So let's check this out. There we go. So I'm going to be replacing the red one with the blue one. Now that's probably not recommended to mix colors, but that's just the one that was given to me. So I'm going to give that a go. So we've unscrewed the end cap now, and the tip is pointing upwards. So I'm going to take this off now. And inside there's not really much to see. The cap looks like it's broken off. I guess that's how the cap gets engaged in there. So I'm going to put this down very carefully so it doesn't mess up anything. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ink cartridge and simply put it in. It just pops in. I'm going to take the cap, screw it back on, and that's it. Don't shake it, because if you shake it, you might get ink all around, and that's a suggestion that Pilot said is don't shake it. The ink should just dry out naturally. So that's it. We've put the cartridge on. Everything is tight. Nothing is leaking. That was my first time doing it, and that was pretty easy. I have no ink on my hands, so that's a testament to how well this product is designed. If I can do it on my first go, you can do it as well. Now let's talk about cost. Now you can refill this up to 4 times. I've read reviews where people have actually replaced it more than 4 times with good results. Again, it all comes down to how hard you press on the tip. If you're a light dry erase user, you should be able to get more usage out of this. In terms of price, I analyzed some prices online, and it looks to me that the pricing is fairly similar to a traditional dry erase marker. But cost aside, I think we're talking about efficiency here, because now we can have one marker, we can have refill cartridges set aside, and not only that, but you can see how much ink you have left. Now, because I can see the ink level, it's a lot more efficient, because before I do a huge brainstorming session, I can see how much ink I have left. And based on that, I can refill my ink and I can have a continuous meeting without any interruptions. Now that's really important in terms of productivity, is to stay focused on your meeting and not worry about peripherals like a dry erase marker. So cost-wise, I think, based on my analysis, I think the price is going to be very similar to a traditional dry erase marker, but this gives you the edge of knowing how much ink is left. It's a lot more environmentally friendly in that you don't have to throw away your marker. The capsules are recyclable, so you're doing a huge favor for the environment. Aside from that, I think this is pretty cool. It writes really nicely. It erased so well. I was super, super impressed on how well it erased. So in terms of performance, I think this outperforms a lot of the dry erase markers that I've used in the past. So all in all, this is a great marker. I'll leave some information down below. Now, if you've used the Pilot VBoard Master dry erase marker, please, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. I want to know what it's like for extended usage to see if you're getting the same performance out of it. My guess is yes, but I'd love to hear from you if you have that experience. Now, of course, if you have any other comments or suggestions, you can leave one down below. Please feel free to share this with your friends, family, and coworkers. Your support is much appreciated. And by now, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel and remember to tap on that bell to be notified of my weekly video uploads. And I'll see you all next time.